Hi folks, we are Sophie and Filipe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers. Currently, we're setting up our second regenerative farm in central Portugal, where we grow food for our local community and share our knowledge both on the land and in the kitchen. On this channel, we take you along on the farm's development and we show you how we grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. In a time where the food we're eating is literally killing us, the most powerful and impactful action one could take is to consume nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, clean food. Let's grow it, let's cook it, let's do it. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode. We're a little late this week because, of course, as some of you might already know, we had our 2-day regenerative gardening course on the farm, so it's been busy. Besides that, of course, our vegetable box pickup and everything, so we're a little delayed. In this week's episode, we're going to do no cooking, but we are going to do a lot of updating because we have transferred from our summer garden to our autumn garden. So Filipe has been super busy. This entire video will be time lapses of him working super hard and getting lots of things done. So it's really satisfying to watch, or at least I find it very satisfying to see all of these tasks done and checked off our list. And so kudos to Filipe. Thanks, my love, for working so hard and being back on track. We're also going to show you some footage of the farm course, just a few sneak peeks. I had a great time and it was really wonderful meeting everyone. All right, let's dive right in and let me talk you through what has happened on the farm. In our last farm episode, we showed you all how we built our ultimate herb garden on the farm from start to finish and extended it into the final size. Next up, with the help of our beloved friend Aaron, we set out to do another very important upgrade on the farm. The crossover point from one of the lower areas of our farm to one of the higher parts was extremely basic, to put it mildly. So we decided to build a bridge. So today is the day that we're going to get rid of another eyesore, and whenever we're getting rid of very prominent eyesores on this farm, of course our dear friend Aaron is present because he's got the brain, he's got the looks, and he's got the power. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these stones away. We've got these horrible cinder blocks and we've got some actual granite stones that came falling off the wall. This used to be an old wall. Must have one day looked amazing, now also looks a little bit derelict. So we're going to try to spruce this whole place up. We're going to take it all away. We're going to clean the entire surrounding. I say we, but really Aaron. And then we are going to level everything out and we're going to build a bridge. Aaron and I started off by clearing the area and removing all the cinder blocks one by one. He then moved over to the other side of the little creek and removed all the blocks on that side as well. This overpass is used daily as it connects the farmhouse area with the workshop area, where we keep all our animal feed and where we have our little test garden. It was one of those jobs that just kept getting pushed forward, so I'm really happy we finally took the time to upgrade this overpass, as it was a little dangerous to pass due to its instability. Aaron also cleared all the brush and some shoots from the wild persimmon tree, which sprouts in the creek. He then trimmed the area and leveled out the uneven ground using a hoe and some brute force. Aaron has left since doing this job a couple of weeks back now, and he is deeply missed. Later that day, Filipe and Aaron started the bridge build by making 2 platforms on either side of the creek. They measured out where a level passage would be possible and built 2 supporting slabs to hold the structure for the overpass. Because we have so many cinder block bricks present on the land from Filipe's grandfather still, we use them wherever we can in a building project. We are aware that cinder blocks and cement are not very sustainable building materials, but we believe that letting these resources just go to waste also doesn't make a lot of sense. The boys built frames of wood planks we took from our recycled dump and filled it with some iron mesh and a concrete mix from gravel, sand and cement. The result looks a little rough, but does the trick. The next morning, the moon was still clearly visible in the sky and the boys cracked on with the building of the cement stairs for the bridge. I'm still not quite sure if they didn't film it or if I accidentally deleted that footage, but unfortunately we'll have to just skip to the result as I cannot find that footage anywhere. We let the hole dry for 1 day and then Filipe recycled the concrete poles we took away earlier this year from the old vineyard. These concrete poles were a real eyesore and we decided to take them down as they were wobbly and some of them were broken. We saved them for later use and like we say in Dutch, wie wat bewaart, die heeft wat. Those who save some, have some. So they were perfectly sized for the build, which was coincidental, but of course wonderful as we didn't have to spend a dime. Filipe and Aaron did it in 1 afternoon and then they boarded up the bottom of the poles and made a smooth slab of cement for the hole. One thing is for sure, this bridge will be here for a very long time to come. It looks a little rough, but it sure does work. And there you have it, the eyesore is gone. We will probably still put wooden planks on this to make it look a little bit more natural and lovely. And of course, if we didn't have all these cinder blocks laying around, we probably wouldn't have gone for a cement structure. But we strongly believe in just using the tools that you have at hand if they are already present. Make them useful. So that's what we've done here, and this overpass has now become a lot more practical to use. After all that hard work, we decided to go and visit the holy mountain we look out over every day and treat ourselves to a drink in Monsanto. We showed Aaron and Vittoria, who also helped with the build, the beautiful views, so here you can see really how extremely breathtakingly beautiful our surrounding actually is. Home we went, tired and satisfied, ready for a good night's sleep to crack on the next day. The end of summer always marks the end of an abundant period. The land looks dry and brown and garden crops are coming to the end of their cycles. We started harvesting the crops we can store to get new plants in the ground. So Filipe started the big end of season clean and cleaned our melon bed completely. Then he moved on to harvesting the last batch of our sauce tomatoes and cleared those beds too. We had an abundant harvest of tomatoes and preserved different batches in different ways, which we will share in another video. This last batch suffered from drought periods due to the limited amount of water we had available. It was extremely dry this summer, and there were even some terrible forest fires all across Portugal. But thankfully, none of them came as close as the one that came up to 1 kilometer of our farm last year, of which we still have some scary drone footage. Due to these extreme droughts, our charca ran very low, and so we had to ration our water. This meant that some of our tomatoes at the end of the season started showing signs of blossom and rot. The plants unfortunately were no longer able to smoothly absorb calcium in these conditions. Just a few more years of regenerative practices will help to improve our sandy soil structure and water retention qualities. This will mean we can stretch our water source for longer, and our plants will experience less of these stresses during high summer if we have to deal with droughts again. Then it was time for the sunflowers to go. They served as a great wild border for our bird population this year, as all sunflower seeds were eaten by surrounding animals and none were left for us. Filipe went on the next day by preparing the old tomato beds for the brassicas to come in. He brought fork them all to decompact, or rather aerate the soil a little, and planted them with 3 different cabbage types. He also finished it off by covering them with fine insect mesh in order to prevent any late-season butterflies laying their eggs on the leaves. After taking all the spent crops to the compost, Filipe seeded all our Asian salads, rocket and field lettuce by directly seeding it into the test garden. The rows are irrigated with drip, but the first few weeks we also water them overhead to make the seed germinate properly. In order to keep blackbirds and cats from scratching up the soil, and of course also to promote the germination rate, we cover this crop with a thin fleece for the first weeks. With our beds cleaned and mostly reseeded and planted, we are now moving on to the opening up of the 3rd garden bed block in our main garden. The plan is to cover crop here this season to get it ready for use as soon as possible. All in all, this part of the garden was covered for roughly 6 months, which is a very long time, so seed pressure should be very low. However, due to the long-term tarping, we also killed off a lot of the microbiology present, and now we need to reboot the system with living plant roots, lots of compost tea, and as soon as we have more available, large gift of compost. Once all of that was done, it was time to start prepping for the course. So I cleaned the lecture area, put the tables ready, and got the whiteboard out. We also filmed the course with the help of a professional videographer this time, which was very interesting to experience, as normally we just shoot our own video. All in all, those were 2 really wonderful course days with our students. And if this is something that you're interested in, don't despair. This wasn't the only time we're going to do this course. We will be coming out with new dates soon, and we are going to keep it quite exclusive. So we want to go for small groups, 2-day intensive regenerative gardening boot camp, and there's plenty of time to get your hands dirty, but also to ask personalized questions. On that note, if you are interested in some one-on-one consulting, we also do that. Just send us an email at thefarmingchefs@gmail.com. All right, that concludes this week's episode. Next week up, more cooking. See you on the next one. The Farming Chefs, peace out.